It's Mike, I'm back. Going to show some records, going to talk about concerts and some record stores I went to yesterday. I went on a big pilgrimage to a bunch of record stores that I don't usually go to, and talk about how that went. And I didn't do a video last week. I just haven't been buying a lot of records, and yeah, just hasn't been, it's just been a kind of a not very good record hunting season this early this summer of 2024. There's a couple things out there or whatever that I'm looking for, but for the most part, I'm not coming across things in the stores like I would hope to, and that might be just a symptom of the just the idea that I've got a lot of the records that I already want. So when I go to record stores, I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, but I already have them all. So if it was a few years ago and I was doing, searching the same record store, I'd be buying up, quite a few, dozen here and there. But since I've been accumulating records over the past few years, it's just really hard to find things in the wild that I don't already have, things that I really want that I don't already have. So anyway, let's talk concerts. So my next concert coming up, it's been a busy concert season, and it's stacking up to be the second half of this year is going to be pretty busy, even busier than the first half. I've gotten tickets to a couple new shows since we've last talked. So Melanie Martinez is this month, actually towards the end of this month. I'm going to see her with my daughter, who is 15, and she really wanted to go see her, so I got us tickets for that. And then in July 3rd in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, they're having a little one of those, I guess this is a tour that's going around. It's not just in Phoenix, but like a new wave band festival kind of deal. A bunch of new wave bands are going to be playing all in one place, just back to back to back on the same stage. And it's called Totally Tubular Fest. And the main band that I want to see, the reason why I bought the ticket, was Annabella Lewin from Bow Wow Wow is going to be performing. And I've been watching some of her videos of her performing the past year, and she sounds great, she looks great. She plays all the great songs that I'd want her to hear her play. So I'm really excited to finally see, Annabella perform Bow Wow Wow songs. That's going to be awesome. If you watch my channel, you'd see I show quite a bit and talk quite a bit about Bow Wow Wow. They're one of my favorite 80s bands. So they're going to be there. And also the band that sealed the deal that's also playing is Modern English is going to be there. And they've played Phoenix a couple times over the past few years. And it seems like every time they come to town, they're playing on the same night as some other band that I'm already seen or already have tickets for. And so I always miss them, but I've always wanted to see them. So they're going to be at this thing. So I'm excited to see Modern English. And then Thomas Dolby is going to be there. One of the guys from the Thompson Twins, I guess, is going to be doing Thompson Twins songs. Men Without Hats is going to be doing Safety Dance and whatever other songs that we might know. The Romantics are going to be there, which I'm not into them per se, but fine. I'm just really there and happy to see Bow Wow Wow and Annabella from Bow Wow Wow, and the rest of the band is not the Bow Wow Wow band. It's just her and some other musicians, but fine. As long as she's there, that's really what the most important thing. And Modern English, I'm really excited to see them finally. So yeah, so that deal is happening the day before July 4th. And then another new concert that I got tickets for, and I was kind of going back and forth on this because the tickets were pretty pricey for what I don't know why I was expecting them to be, I don't know, much lower than they were. But I guess, I don't know. it is what it is. But Jane's Addiction is coming around, and I've seen them a bunch of times. And Love and Rockets is going to open for them, hence my wall of Love and Rockets behind me. I've seen Love and Rockets a bunch of times, almost as many as any other band I've seen. And 3 of the times that I saw Love and Rockets live, their opening act was Jane's Addiction, and now I guess it's reversed. Now Jane's Addiction is the main band, and Love and Rockets is opening. Although I've heard rumors that it might be like a double bill, and they're both gonna maybe switch back and forth between who's opening and who's the main artist. I'm not sure. It's fine. Either way, I'm excited to see both of them. Jane's Addiction puts on a great show, and it's all the original members from the original band, just like when I saw them back in '87. It's all the same original band members, and same with Love and Rockets. So Love and Rockets got together like a year ago, which nobody ever thought was going to happen. They got together and performed at the Cruel World Festival out in Pasadena. They did that show, and then they ended up doing like a small little US tour after that. And I didn't go see it because they were just, I don't know, they skipped Phoenix like bands often do. And I just wasn't feeling driving out to California. I've done that so many times. Driving out to California, it's exhausting. And I've seen Love and Rockets so many times. I'm like, this isn't going to be a better show, I don't think, than back when I saw them in the day. So it just didn't seem worth it. But now that they're coming to Phoenix, I'm like, yeah, I plunked down some money and got some decent seats. And my good friend my best friend from high school, he and I, grew up listening to Jane's Addiction and Love and Rockets. So he's going to go with me. And yeah, really excited about that show. That's happening in August. And then after that, Peter Hook, the bassist for New Order, is coming in September. Blonde Redhead is coming in October. I've seen them a bunch of times, but I'm excited to see them again. Courtney and I are going to go see them. Played a small club, so that'll be nice. Cigarettes After Sex, Courtney and I are going to see them. I'm taking my daughter with us too, because apparently I did not realize that Cigarettes After Sex has a huge teenager following. My daughter's really into them, so she's excited to go see that show for the first time, and this will be our second time seeing them, Courtney and I. And then in December, I got tickets for my daughter and I to see Billie Eilish. So that's where we're at right now. Also, a trip we've added to our itinerary this summer. Courtney and I are taking the kids to New York City. So I've used to go to record stores back when I was a kid, visiting my dad in New York City. My dad lived in Manhattan for a number of years, and I would go spend summers with him. And I'd go to Bleecker Bob's or Bob Bleeckers or whatever. I'd go to Tower Records in New York City, and I remember buying records. I've got records still in my collection that I bought. I don't think any of these Tones on Tail records I bought in New York City. I think this one I bought in London, actually. And I don't think I bought any of these other ones in New York City. But anyway, I am looking forward to go perusing through some record stores in New York City. Hopefully I'll have better luck than I'm having here in Phoenix. So yeah, if y'all go to record stores in New York City and you have any suggestions for me, that'd be great. Just put comments because it's been a long time since I've been there. The last time I was in New York City was before 9/11, so it's been a few years since I've been, and I'm sure there's lots and lots of new record stores that weren't there back in the day, and I'm sure the ones back in the day maybe are not there anymore. So anyway, just give me your suggestions on what you suggest. We're just going to be in Manhattan. I don't think we're going to be out in any of the boroughs. The other boroughs, excuse me. Anyway, so I went yesterday. Courtney and I had a day with no kids. So she thought it would be fun to go out, check out some record stores. So we drove pretty much all day. And it was the worst luck that we had. Several freeways were shut down, which we didn't know until we started our trek across from the East Valley of Phoenix. We're out in the suburbs of the East Valley, and we were driving into downtown Phoenix and to North Phoenix to go to these record stores, and the traffic was horrible, construction everywhere. Took forever to get to the first one, which was a place called Stinkweeds, which is in downtown Phoenix, Camelback and Central. And they're pretty good. They're an indie record store, so they carry a lot of the kind of music that I like. Unfortunately, I have, like I said, a lot of the stuff that I already want, so they didn't really have anything that stood out that I had to have. But they're starting to carry more and more used records now. Used to be just predominantly new vinyl, but they're getting a better and better selection of used vinyl, so that's cool. But they didn't have anything for me. Yesterday, we went to like a brewery, which was right across the street, and just had a drink to cool down. And while we were there, I did not drink because I was driving. I had a soda. But anyway, somebody told us, they asked us what we were up to, and we were going to record stores, and they suggested that right down the street there's this place called Tracks on Wax record store, so we went and checked that one out. Interesting place. The guy who was working the counter, he wasn't playing music, he was playing some kind of radio program or podcast, and it was all like conspiracy theory stuff. So it was just like documentary conspiracy theory stuff about the pyramids and Nikola Tesla and all this different stuff. And I don't know, it was kind of obnoxious and it was really loud. So having all that going into your brain while you're just trying to hunt for music. They did have a Bow Wow Wow record pressing of When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going. Their second and last album, they had a Japanese pressing of that, but it was like $30 and it was used. And I just didn't feel like spending $30 for a used record, so I passed on it. So we went out of there with nothing. And then the last place we went to, we drove up north to like Dunlap in the I-17. There's a place called Record Room, and it's a really cool place. They have tons of used records. It's mostly used records. And they have a lot of punk, which I like, and post-punk and whatever. They have sections for punk too, which I really like. I like when they separate that stuff out rather than just throwing everything all together and rock. And they had like a bunch of like 7 Seconds and Agnostic Front and Black Flag, but all the Black Flag stuff I already had and didn't need. The 7 Seconds stuff I would have been interested in, but they were charging like, for like old used copies, they were charging like $50 and 7 Seconds, like their early stuff, it only has like maybe 8 or 10 songs on them. It's like, I'm not paying $50 for 10 songs. I don't know. I'll wait for a better opportunity for those records, like Walk Together, Rock Together, and what are the other one? The Crew. They have reissues of those, but they're ridiculously expensive too. I just wasn't feeling it, so I passed on that, and we left there without getting anything as well. So it was just kind of a drag. It's always kind of depressing when you go to all these record stores and you don't come out with anything, but I just wasn't feeling it. So anyway, but I did get some records in the mail. I was gonna say, yeah, I was just gonna show these as props, visual props, that I'm gonna go see Bow Wow Wow, Annabella, and I'm gonna see Modern English in concert finally, so that's really cool. Records, I mentioned that I ordered a record in my last video and it finally came in. Actually came in a couple days early, so I was happy about that. This is Beth Gibbons. It's her new studio album. This the singer from Portishead, and I had heard a song from this album a couple months ago, and it was excellent. And I thought, oh man, if this new album is as good as this first song, it's probably going to end up being in my top 10 records for the year. Had no problem. I didn't listen to the whole album before I ordered it. I just went ahead and ordered it based on that one song. And what is that song called? I wrote it down here. Floating on a Moment is the name of the song. It's the second song on side 1. And it's an excellent song. It's really just great. But the rest of the album, it hasn't grabbed me yet. So, and that's fine. it's not bad. It just hasn't grabbed me like that first song did. So I have a feeling it's going to be one of those albums that just takes repeated listens and it'll grow on you. There's nothing bad or offensive about this album at all. It sounds really nice. It's just that first song that I heard was just really awesome. So I'm looking forward to listening to this more. This album is called Lives Outgrown, and it's Beth Gibbons from Portishead. Yeah, really nice. Oh, I guess I should show the inners. Usually I have this stuff all pulled out, but I didn't do that this time for whatever reason. So the record, the inner sleeve is this kind of 2 or 4 page booklet. It's got all the lyrics on the inside and then photos of her on the outer pages of this 4-page deal. The back of the record just has the song listings there. Oh, and it came with, what does it come with? Oh, I guess a download card. Yeah, download card. So haven't done that yet. And then it's on black vinyl. Came in a black inner sleeve with a lined, poly-lined inner sleeve, which if I get those and they're black or whatever, I'll just leave it as is. But if it's white with no poly line, or if it's any kind of thing with, if it's a generic inner sleeve and it doesn't have the poly lining, then I'll switch it out. But if it comes with the poly lining, I'll leave it in usually instead of using my own. So anyway, Beth Gibbons, really awesome. Next record, this is one that I've been wanting for a while. It's kind of on my grail list. And lo and behold, I saw somebody show this. It had come out as a reissue last year, and I missed it. It was already sold out by the time I saw their video showing it off. I went looking it up, and it had already sold out, and it was showing up on eBay and Discogs as like $100. You know, everybody was reselling their reissue copy. They turned around and flipped them. So I'm like, crap, I missed that one. I totally had no idea. And it's crazy because I belong to so many vinyl channels or vinyl pages on Facebook. Usually this crap is just constantly in my face all the time. But for whatever reason, this particular one, I missed it. And it is the band The Sundays. And yeah, so 1990, this album originally came out. This is a frequent listen back in my college years. And Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. It's their very first album. They put out 3 albums. This is their first one. And I believe it was originally, I don't know if it was on Rough Trade or Geffen, but this reissue is Geffen Rough Trade, and it's on gray vinyl. Yeah, so I found somebody selling this for what they were charging the original reissue price or whatever when it was originally reissued last year. Somebody was selling it for that same price, so I grabbed it. So I'm really happy I was able to get a copy. Liner note, this is the only thing that's printed. Information is the liner notes are printed on the back with the song titles. I don't think it has an inner, I don't think it came with an, yeah, it didn't come with an inner sleeve. Just a paper inner sleeve, so I put it in my, since it's colored vinyl, I put those in my MoFi sleeves so that I can show the color of whatever vinyl it is when I do these videos. Sounds great. The remastering or whatever, the reissue sounds really nice, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection finally. I just still need to get Static and Silence and Blind, but hopefully they'll reissue those at some point like they did this. Maybe this year, I don't know. Maybe they'll do one a year. I have no idea. Fantastic album. I can't really pick a song that I love the most off of this because I Kicked a Boy is great. My Finest Hour. My Finest Hour actually reminds me of the Cocteau Twins. And I guess if you listen to it, maybe you'll understand what I mean. But I Won is really great. Here's Where the Story Ends is the main single off of this. But it's just a fantastic album, and really sad that they don't make music anymore. But really happy to have this official reissue or whatever in my collection finally. So yeah, so that's that. I think I got that through eBay. Yeah. And then this last one I got through Discogs. I went to a record show back in, God, it was a couple years ago in Tucson, only record show I've ever been to, and I found this record, Clan of Xymox. This is their debut album on 4AD Records, just called Clan of Xymox, self-titled. Really happy to find this in the wild, an original on 4AD. I was really excited to get this, and I thought, okay, now I need to get their second album. I used to have both of these back in my college days, and like an idiot, I sold them, got the CDs back in the 80s, late 80s. But this was 1985, and their second album, Medusa, came out in 1986, and I love that album. And every time I see that album anywhere for sale, it's all beat up to hell. It hasn't been repressed or reissued since, like, it came out in 1986, and I think it was reissued in 87 and 88, but then nothing after that. And those reissues were like Japanese reissues and Greek reissues, and I think a French one. But the UK, the 4AD version, UK pressing, that was it. That was 1986, and they haven't repressed it, reissued it since then. And I finally found a reissue that wasn't all beat up, and I was so completely just beside myself when I saw this on Discogs and looked at it, and looked at the... Did I look at the picture? Yeah, no, this wasn't Discogs. It couldn't have been Discogs because I saw photos. This had to be eBay. I saw photos of this because I don't think I would have bought it off of Discogs, because all the copies are always beat up because it hasn't been, like I said, it hasn't been reissued since 1986. So all the copies, people just brutalize this thing. It's like a textured paper. It's like a soft touch. This black, this matte black is like a soft touch paper, and then this like high gloss down the center, and this textured matte part just gets covered in, like, and I shouldn't be touching it, covered in fingerprints, and the corners get scuffed and beat up and dinged, and they're just, every single copy I would see of this just looked like hell. And I was like, I'm not spending a bunch of money on this, on an original if it's all beat up to hell. I'll wait and find either they'll reissue it, or I'll find a nice copy miraculously. And this was it. Like, this thing is about as close to near mint as I could possibly hope for. And again, this is a UK original from 1986. Somebody took really, really good care of it all these decades, and I got a copy of it. And God, no fingerprints, no scuffs, no dings, no seam splits, nothing. I just can't even imagine. I just couldn't imagine when I saw it, like, how nice this looked. And I'm like, hopefully it'll come to me in that condition, that it wasn't just a fake photo that somebody lifted from somewhere else. And it came in great. It comes in this kind of matte printed gold inner sleeve, just plain, and that does have some wear, some ring wear and seam split and whatever. I could give a rat's ass about that. I really don't care. It's fine. But the outer sleeve looks amazing. So I was really, I don't know why I'm like so obsessed with getting this one looking perfect, when sometimes I just don't care if it looks absolutely perfect. But this one I was just really happy about. The inner sleeve, or the labels look like so. Again, second album, it's kind of a goth, dark wave kind of band. From the they started out as Xymox, then they changed it to Clan of Xymox when they were on 4AD. They put out 2 albums on 4AD, and then they went on to Polygram after that for their third album, and they changed it back to Xymox, just Xymox. They took the Clan of part off, and then now, and they did that for a while as Xymox, and then now they're back as Clan of Xymox. And they toured, I think, last year, and of course they play like Salt Lake City and Denver and everywhere around us, but they didn't come to Phoenix. So I missed that show, missed that tour, so I was kind of miffed about that, but really happy to have this on vinyl. Great album. The song Louise is like one of their fan favorite songs, and that's on this album, and I really like that song, and the whole album is really good, but really happy to have that. And I'm going to take really good care of it, not touch it with my fingers, with my greasy fingers. And Yeah, so there's a record show. Actually, I complain a lot about there not being any record shows in Phoenix, but I found on Facebook they're having what's called the West Valley Record Show here in Phoenix, out in the West Valley, a town called Goodyear, which is suburbs out on the west side. And it's only for one day. It's on a Sunday at the end of the month, this month. But I'll go check it out. We'll see what kind of stuff they have. Hopefully there'll be some vendors out there that have some good music that I like, and it's not just a bunch of beat up Elvis records, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'll let you know how that goes at the end of the month. But anyway, I think that's all I got to show. My birthday's coming up soon, so and we're going to New York City, so I'm hoping to have a bunch of records from those two events to show. But right now, it's just kind of slim pickings. Let me know if you feel the same or whatever. If you're having no trouble finding records that you like, I'm just not seeing a lot of stuff right now. So, and it was funny because the way the year was starting off, there was like a lot of records coming out. I'm like, holy crap! There's so many things I have to get. All these different reissues that were coming out that I had to have. But right now, it's just kind of slow. So anyway, hopefully that'll change, and I'll have more inspiration to do videos more often. So miss you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.